I wanted to talk about some of the big ideas in Goldfinch and the protocol and what you're building. And one of those is, we've danced around it a little bit, but this idea of importance of borrowing crypto without crypto collateral. So one of the questions that I guess I want to ask is, like, in these calls you were initially having, did you bring up the prospect of, were people comfortable borrowing crypto? Was that a thing you explored and then you later realized, oh no, they just want local currency? What did that look like?
Yeah, so when we were talking to these businesses to see if they would be interested in using a protocol, we were trying to understand that. And one of the key parts was there's different layers of it, which is like, would they be willing to borrow Bitcoin and Ethereum? And like, absolutely not. They were not interested in that. But then it was like, would you be willing to borrow stablecoins like USDC, like USD pegged? And they were open to doing that.
Once you explained it.
Once we explained it, and some of them were familiar with it as well, because stablecoins are becoming popular in a lot of these markets as well. But they were willing to do that because they are already used to receiving USD denominated loans, just like fiat, and going into crypto. Like, they had some questions about, oh, what are the exchange rate risks on USDC? Like, is it definitely pegged to the dollar or not? And so there was some education there to help them get comfortable with it. But one of the most positive signs we found was we were just concerned whether they would be willing to deal with crypto and like set up MetaMask and do like all of this crypto stuff. And they were like perfectly willing to do that as long as it meant that they could get the capital that they needed. So we definitely were trying to understand what was their willingness to jump through hoops in order to participate. And it was that they weren't going to take Bitcoin or Ethereum, but they were happy to take stablecoins like USDC.
Yeah. And so I'm guessing that was the solution that you ended up with, is basically you're lending out or you're paying out USDC, some sort of stablecoin.
Yeah. So the way that it works is the borrower goes to the protocol and they receive USDC. They need to borrow USDC and they pay back USDC into the protocol. But then all of the borrowers that we're talking to, they're getting accounts set up in exchanges like Binance and Coinbase and Kraken. Like, all of these exchanges now are supporting a lot more of these markets around the world. And so they just hook up their bank account and they receive USDC into the exchange and they convert it to fiat or their local currency. And then they take that local currency out into their local bank.